Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff and welcome to an unboxing video. I am actually really excited about this one. So, I am filming this on the evening of New Year's Eve. It is very late, but this is when I had a good chance to film. But you guys are going to be seeing this a week from now, which just so happens to be my birthday. So happy birthday to me, and it's very fitting because one of the knives that we're taking a look at today is one that I have been very excited to get my hands on. I think I've spoken about this knife a couple of times on the channel, but yeah, it's good to finally have it. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and break into this. I have not opened this box yet, but I did take it out of the other package it was in. But we have two knives to take a look at, so let's go ahead and open this one first. This is the Sin-Cut Scarnax. I've been carrying and testing this knife a lot recently. Pretty cool knife. I've got some issues with it, but it's pretty cool. All right. Yeah. Sarge. Okay, this is going to be a throwback to some of y'all. So I have reviewed two knives from this brand before. And those two knives were kind of interesting. One of them was a button lock with a blue aluminum scales, it kind of reminiscent of a Malibu, but not at the same time. And by the way, I'm filming in my kitchen right now. It's very echoey, but I have the best lights in here, so pardon that. And the other one had a really cool lock that I have since seen being used on some other Chinese knives. Anyways, those are very old videos. You can go back and take a look at those. But those Sarge knives I found in a little grocery store in one of these small towns I used to frequent when I was a youngster. They had a bunch of Sarge knives there, and I picked those up for review. I haven't looked at Sarge knives since, but I found them on Amazon the other day, and I was like, you know what? That looks kind of cool. So let's break into this. This one is called the Jet. And actually, I don't remember this having aluminum scales. I thought this was G10. This knife here was less than $30. Okay, so I'm already kind of excited. Number one, we have a wire clip that is reversible. Like to see that. Not a huge fan of how they did the screw in there, but hey, it works. Centering is actually perfect, which is awesome. This blue aluminum is already got some marks on it. Definitely kind of cheap. The knife itself is very chunky. We've got a crossbar lock and a flipper. That's a bold move, especially because this is flipper only. Let's see if they did it right. Big old whopping flipper tab. Ooh, that felt kind of mushy. Ooh. Okay, might be that just needs to break in. Okay, we've got it out there with a little bit of wrist. And then we have this very interesting, oh my goodness. That is a double hollow ground blade. It's hollow ground up here and here. Interesting. This is 8CR13 MOV blade. Let's check that lockup. Very solid lockup. Very solid. Okay. I like that. Got a freaking hair in my eye. Okay. It is running on bearings. I want to see if I can... That flipper tab is missing a couple of things. Number one, it needed to be higher in relation to the pivot to give you more leverage. But the tension from that omega or from the crossbar lock is not really sufficient to flip it out. You can do it with a little bit of wrist very easily. But yeah, this is probably a wrist only type of knife. Very comfortable in hand, except for because it has a hollow grind up here, it's a little bit thin and a little bit sharp underneath the thumb right there. But I really do like the blade shape. I kind of like the way this knife looks. Again, this is called the Jet. kind of an interesting little knife, right? Kind of interesting little knife. Kind of nostalgic for me to check out this brand again. Is this the greatest knife ever? No. But I think it's really cool. And if you guys know me on this channel, I have a huge soft spot for really weird, cheap knives that no one else talks about. So there we go. I do think it's a good looking knife. And, you know, the action might break in over time. I kind of doubt it. But, you know, just like if you're pulling this out of your pocket and you flip it as you bring it up, it's going to deploy. But yeah, definitely not a satisfying action for us knife nuts. I do really like the blue though. That is really, really cool. This actually might have been a good knife to have been assisted. I know, shocker. Okay, so there we go. Now let's get on to the main event. So this is a knife from Real Steel. I have not reviewed a whole lot from them, but what I have reviewed, I have liked. And this is a knife that came out a couple of years ago. And when it did, I was super excited because I really liked the way this knife looked. And I really, really liked the innovation with this knife. Now, the original version of this knife was titanium and S35VN. S35VN is my favorite blade steel, so I was really, really happy about that. But, you know, it's a little bit outside my price tier. But then, in 2025, they came out with a more affordable version. And I've been wanting to pick one up. I really wanted to get one of these in 2025. Well, I mean, I guess technically I did. But I want to get one of these in 2025 to test and review. Did not really happen. It's going to be a 2026 knife. But let's go ahead and take a look at it. So, get it in the little box. It comes wrapped in this cloth. You can see here, this is a big knife. And actually, it is bigger than I was expecting. I can already tell I'm going to freaking love this knife. This is the Real Steel Evolution Ironclad. There is a lot going on here that I like. Number one, I love full back spacers like that. I don't know why, I just do. Yeah, they make the knife a little bit more difficult to clean out, but I really, really like that. This knife definitely has a tactical vibe to it. Got a tungsten carbide glass breaker on there. So this is the Ironclad versions of this knife are budget versions. This one has D2 steel on the blade, and it is a steel frame lock instead of a titanium frame lock. Now, this knife has a couple of tricks up its sleeve. Number one, actually, I really like that lock bar cutout. I've seen Real Steel do that on some other knives, including the Megalodon, which is a knife that I really want to get my hands on. I don't even think they make that knife anymore. I'm kind of bummed that I missed out on it, if that is the case. I haven't seen it in a while, but the Megalodon is a knife that I thought was really, really cool because it kind of fits my whole vibe, right? Paleontology theme. Which this knife does as well. Evolution, right? I do a lot of work with evolution in a natural history museum, working with paleontology and things like that. Evolution is definitely something that I am deeply invested in. Okay, let's go ahead and let's open this guy up. Man, this feels so cool. It's got washers, big old freaking stop pin. Oh man, oh man. Oh gosh. You know, I do not consider myself, like I don't really, this kind of knife is not something that I use, and it's not something that I use as much as I used to. Back in the day, I used to really, really be big on hard-use knives, as a lot of you guys know, working on the ranch and stuff. And in more recent, you know, last year, and so I've been a little bit more, you know, sticking to simpler EDC knives. But stuff like this still will always bring a smile on my face, and this makes me want to go and just freaking use this knife. Now, this knife does... There's one thing about this knife that I am not a huge fan of, and I bet you guys can already tell what it is. It's this massive finger choil. I'm not the biggest fan of finger choils. The ergos back here feel really, really good. I'm locked in. The jimping up here is excellent. Got a little bit of a poon spoon. But you're very far away from the edge. So, you know, you can crawl up and do this, and I think this is just a less ergonomic grip. However, they did have to include this because this knife has a little something going on under the hood. This button here allows you to disengage the knife. Now, this is a frame lock, and you can use it just like a frame lock, but you can also disengage the frame lock with this button here, which is really cool, but also at the same time, it's kind of like, yeah, it's cool and it's fun, but it's one of those things where I'm like, why has no one done this before? Or like, why does this feel so neat? It's kind of simple and honestly maybe even verging a little bit on ridiculous, stupid, like unnecessary. But I actually do think it does have some application. We do also have a secondary lock here that prevents you from, oh yeah, disengaging the frame lock at all. Very, very cool. One of the things that I thought about with this knife, and again, I'll have to test this and see, is frame locks can sometimes be difficult to manipulate while you're wearing gloves. This button could make this frame lock easy to use while you're wearing gloves. Instead of having to fiddle around in here, you just hit that button and the blade will close. Now, this knife is running on washers. By the way, amazing detent on this guy. Great thumb studs as well. The action is incredible. Absolutely incredible. But that button doesn't give it like the... Actually, I take that back. It is pretty swing shutty. You can swing it open with the button too. Yeah, this knife is going to break in beautifully. This knife's going to be breaking in beautifully. Absolutely freaking love this knife already. Man, what a beast. What a cool freaking knife. No blade play. Man, this thing's awesome. And they've got a Tonto version. You know what? I think I'm probably going to get the Tonto as well. Now that I've got this one in hand, I think I'm going to want to add that Tonto to my collection as well. Just a really, really cool knife. I love how aggressive and over the top and just badass this thing is, but it's also fairly slim while still feeling robust. I don't know, there's so much about this knife that I love so much. We got kind of a, I don't know, I guess maybe you'd call this a drop point blade. I would actually call this a straight clip point. We do kind of drop it, then we clip the tip down there at the end. I don't know, whatever. We can argue about that all day long. The Tonto does look really, really cool, but I can already tell it's not going to be as good a slicer as this one is. I don't think this knife is going to be the best slicer, but I also don't think it's going to be bad. The blade stock is not overly thick, and this grind is high enough to give you decent performance. Do I have some paper lying around here? I ought to. There's some paper. Ow, go away. Go away. Nope, don't want to use that. What's this? Nope, don't want to use that. Well, crap. Let me grab some paper and I'll be right back. Wait, never mind. Just right here, there's a sticky note. I found a sticky note. Sweet. See if it's sharp. Right there, went right into the choil. One of the reasons I don't really like full forward finger choils. Okay. There is actually a bit of a rough spot right there. Interesting. We will have to sharpen that out. Yeah, just a little bit of a spot. Let's go ahead and do our sharpness test with this knife. It will cut. It will cut. All right, so there we go, guys. Two very different knives, but some pretty cool knives. One that is a little bit nostalgic for me, and one that I think is going to become a knife that I enjoy quite a bit. This thing is incredible. From what I've experienced right now, of course, opinion subject to change, but so far, I'm impressed with it. I'm liking it a lot. It's everything I wanted it to be. So this is my birthday gift to myself, and you know what? Happy birthday. I think this will do the trick. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Big shout out to my channel members at the cowboy level. I appreciate everything they do for the channel. If you want to become a member and support me directly, there's a link down below. As for the rest of you hooligans, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment below, and subscribe. I've been Gideon, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.